Okay, let's take one more question. So that was a question we had from someone, and I think we got one more for today as well. So Dawn had asked, do I need to pay an inheritance tax? She she had more context, and I think she's expecting to receive something from her dad, who's older. Let me get some more paper here. There we go. And is wondering, do I need to be worried about inheritance taxes? So a couple things. You have inheritance tax, and you have estate tax, right? Inheritance tax is taxes that you, as the beneficiary, you would pay those. Estate taxes are taxes that the person leaving, so the deceased, are taxes they would pay, right? So there is a federal estate tax, right? So just so we're not confusing these, because some people confuse these two things. There is a federal estate tax if you have more than 15 million per person, which means it's $30 million if you're a couple. Then you would have to pay estate taxes on the amount over that, right? So if you have 40 million, then you would have to pay estate taxes on 10. But that is paid by your parents before they die. Or if you're worried about it, that would be paid by you before your kids get it, right? Inheritance tax is paid by the beneficiary. It's like, hey, I've received this money. Do I need to pay taxes on it? And the short answer is not usually. There's no federal inheritance tax. So there's a federal estate tax, but you have to have a ton of money for that to matter. And there is no federal inheritance tax. Okay. So, is there Fed? There's no Fed on this one, right? But then there's also states. So there could be a potential state estate tax and a state inheritance tax, right? And this varies widely by state. So I'll actually show. Let me cue this up here. Let's stop sharing that one, and then we'll share screen and window. So just like Tax Foundation puts this out every year. Not sure if there we go. So 2025 data, right? So these states have either an estate tax, an inheritance tax in yellow, or both. Maryland is the only one with both, where they're going to tax the person who dies and the person who receives it, right? All the other states, you don't have to worry about that at all, right? I live in Wisconsin, or work in Wisconsin, live in Minnesota, and so there's nothing here, right? Nothing in Florida, nothing in a bunch of these states. But the other thing to think about, right, is the exemption in these other states like Minnesota. So I live in Minnesota currently, born and raised there. New York, some of these other states, right? The amount that they tax it on can be all over the place. So the estate tax exemption, how much you're getting taxed on the amount over that, is $3 million in Minnesota, which may be plenty for you and nothing you need to worry about, but it's way less than the $30 million for a couple at the federal level, right? Some are as low as $1 million. I think that's the lowest, right? So some also have other ones, but they're still, pretty high. And then some people have an inheritance tax, right? Which isn't that much. And Kentucky has one. The exemption is only $1,000, and you basically pay it on the whole amount. And then the rates are anywhere from 0 to 16%, right? So this can be helpful if you live in any of these states. Then it would be helpful to know what you're going to pay, and so you can plan that in. And again, use some tax saving strategies to help with that. So the short answer is almost certainly no. It wasn't for Dawn. Dawn will not pay any inheritance tax because she lives in Wisconsin, and there's not enough of an estate to pay any estate taxes to. There are a bunch of other taxes that you could pay, right? Whether it's from brokerage accounts, like with step up in basis or inherited IRAs, and we cover all that again in tax saving strategies. So if you are leaving inherited IRAs or IRAs to your children, Roth IRAs, brokerage accounts, or you're going to be inheriting, then the strategies in here are really going to help you minimize those taxes so that you can have more for you and your loved ones. You can get it absolutely for free.